A new fighter jet could be shaking the foundations of a decades-old alliance. Saudi Arabia's reported interest in Turkey's next-generation Kaan warplane is sending ripples through Washington, where the Trump administration wants to remain the kingdom's dominant and ideally sole arms supplier. For years, the defense relationship between Riyadh and Washington has been the backbone of U.S. influence in the Gulf. But now, talks between Saudi Arabia and Turkish aerospace industries over the Kaan fighter jet are raising uncomfortable questions inside the White House. The Kaan program, championed by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, represents Ankara's bid to enter the elite club of advanced fighter jet producers. During a visit to Saudi Arabia, Erdogan said a joint investment in Kaan could be signed at any moment, signaling that discussions are not merely exploratory. The optics were unmistakable. A model of the Kaan jet was displayed prominently at Riyadh's World Defense Show, emblazoned with a Saudi flag, a symbolic gesture that did not go unnoticed in Washington. Just months earlier, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had been welcomed at the White House, where President Donald Trump announced Saudi Arabia would be allowed to purchase advanced F-35 fighter jets as part of a sweeping strategic defense agreement. The F-35, built by Lockheed Martin, remains the crown jewel of American military exports. But the sale has long been entangled in regional politics, particularly Israel's insistence on maintaining its qualitative military edge. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly indicated that any Saudi F-35 acquisition would likely be in a configuration inferior to Israel's fleet, a political compromise that risks frustrating Riyadh. Now enters Turkey's Kaan. U.S. officials reportedly do not believe the Kaan would replace the F-35 outright. Instead, they worry that Saudi Arabia's interest signals lost revenue and diminished leverage. The message from Washington, according to officials familiar with the matter, is simple. What capability is the United States not providing that Turkey can? At the heart of this tension is President Trump's deal-making diplomacy. His administration has pushed an America First export agenda, viewing arms sales not just as strategic tools, but as economic wins. Saudi Arabia's flirtation with alternative suppliers is therefore seen not merely as diversification, but as a challenge to U.S. primacy. Yet Riyadh's calculus may be more complex. Unlike the United States, Turkey is offering co-production and technology transfers, an attractive proposition as Saudi Arabia advances Vision 2030, which aims for 50% of defense spending to be localized. Kaan may be Turkish in branding, but it still relies on the F-110 engine produced by General Electric, underscoring how deeply intertwined global defense supply chains remain. Analysts suggest Saudi Arabia could ultimately acquire both platforms, using negotiations with Ankara as leverage to secure better terms from Washington. This would not be unprecedented. During Trump's first term, Riyadh explored Russia's S-400 air defense system before eventually acquiring the U.S. THAAD system, a move that extracted concessions while preserving ties. The current moment, however, is more delicate. Washington finds itself balancing pro-Israel lobbying with its ambition to expand Gulf arms exports. Lawmakers are reportedly being briefed on how a Saudi F-35 sale would impact Israel's qualitative edge, potentially redefining long-standing metrics. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's regional strategy is shifting. The kingdom is deepening cooperation with Turkey, Pakistan, and Egypt, while recalibrating its posture toward the United Arab Emirates and Israel. Arms purchases in this context are not only about hardware, they are diplomatic signals. For Riyadh, engaging Turkey on Kaan may be less about replacing American jets and more about broadening strategic options in an increasingly multipolar Middle East. For Washington, however, even symbolic drift carries weight. The stakes extend beyond aircraft specifications. They touch on influence, alignment, and the future architecture of Gulf security. Saudi Arabia insists it seeks choice, not rupture. But in a region where defense contracts double as geopolitical commitments, even exploratory talks can reverberate loudly. As negotiations continue behind closed doors, one thing is clear. The Kaan fighter jet is not just a military project, it is a test of how far Saudi Arabia can diversify without straining its most important alliance.
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That has often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
You're not a brute majority anymore. If you individually take out Tera.
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
Strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged.
To stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.